to all my fellow Uber drivers and Bolt drivers, please, this is a life opportunity for us to tell Uber, you need to talk to us. You need to put us on the table. You cannot keep ignoring us. And the same applies for TfL, and the other license authorities across the country as well. This is also happening in Birmingham, Leicester, Manchester. They need to listen to us. That's why, please, 4 o'clock, log off. We need to make drivers conscious of the rights that they have and they deserve in this industry. We've been heavily manipulated by government, and also now we became a product of Uber, but we are not product of Uber. This is what we feel. We feel neglected, So we must come together as a drivers, and educate ourselves of the rights that we have, which at the moment they believe they are fighting for surviving. We are in a breaking point right now as a drivers. And we need to come together ourselves and say what we're going to do together. That's what I'm trying to do.
And you were handing those leaflets out to other, you think that they're Uber or Bolt drivers, and you're telling them to log off today, is that right?
Yeah. We must log off. We have to use technology against technology. Uber is manipulating us with technology, and we should use the same approach towards them. And we must remember the founders of Uber and the founders of Bolt, they are all software developers. They are not drivers like us. That's why we've been heavily manipulated by these apps.
So you feel that you're not seen by your employer, because they don't know what it's like to work on the ground?
Yeah, no, they are not.
Right.
Dara earns 24 million. We are begging to pay for our bills. Look at the cost of renting in here, especially in London. So it's not that they do not see us. They see us, but they ignore us. They completely disregard us. And not only us, it's all over the place. Food deliveries, and restaurants. We need to come together. But for private hire drivers, we have a duty to come together.
We are not treated fairly by these operators. In terms of fares, we are not treated fairly, no doubt. Even in other ways and means, a driver can be blocked or deactivated from a platform without any proper investigation. Just deactivate him and that's it. It's enough for one complaint. A driver can be blocked for 2-3 days because a customer made a complaint. Without talking to the driver, it gets blocked and they deal with it 3-4 days later. Meanwhile, the driver lost an income. It happened to me, it happened to some others.
Which would not happen in a traditional job?
In a traditional job, no, it will not happen. It will not happen in a traditional job. You get dismissed before you have a proper investigation. And my background, I was in a proper employment before. I was a senior manager before. I managed staff before. I dealt with disciplinaries before. No, it doesn't happen in a proper employment. But because we are classified as gig economy workers, or we don't have these protections which regular employment can get. We don't have it. So the operators feel they can do whatever they like without any question, because the law does not protect us. That's why we were in Parliament in February last year lobbying for a joint parliamentary committee to look into the private hire industry, because we know we need a change in legislations to address what we have as private hire drivers.
One of the things we've done in London is say to Uber a number of years ago, we love you being in our city, but you've got to live by the rules. And to give Uber credit, they changed the way they operate in London to make sure they're providing the top service. At the same time, we want to make sure the drivers are treated well, with dignity, with good terms, with good conditions. And so what I'd encourage those that run Uber and Bolt, but also the drivers, is to resolve any differences they've got amicably, because people do use these services, particularly late at night time. Many people use these services for a variety of very good reasons. It is a good service by and large, but it's not unreasonable for the drivers to get fair terms and conditions.
What we are earning now is a joke. please forgive me, but they think we are kind of ignorant. How can we, in this day and age, accept sometimes less than £1 per mile? When the cost to charge a car is sometimes 90 pence per kilowatt. For me to drive my car 200 miles will cost me £60. With a promotion sometimes it costs me £50. £50 for me to drive 200 miles. 200 miles is nothing. So this is where I also blame TfL. TfL forced private hire drivers to switch to electric cars. And now it's almost like half of our earnings is just for the car itself. So we need to address, we need transparency in how the apps pay us, and also we need more government representation towards private hire drivers.
Would you say sometimes, if you factor in how much it's cost you to charge the car and the wear and tear of the car, do you think sometimes you're not making any money?
Not at all, not at all.
Do you think that the system is skewed against the people who use these apps?
Yes, no, against the customers, you mean? Use
No,
this,
against
the
you.
drivers, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the system, yes, because we don't get the protection which regular employment get. We are not protected by law against being deactivated. We are not protected by law against anything, right? The operators can do whatever they like. That's why we need a change in legislations. And that's what we are hoping for. Our mass movement, which is happening today, could lead in the future to change in legislations.
So it was, when you won that court battle, you were awarded holiday pay, but the apps have now taken that pay out of the fee they're passing on to you. Is that right?
Yes, because following the court winning, the operators changed our rate per mile. So our rate per mile was higher, so it became lower. And if it became lower, so what they gave us in the right hand, they took it in the left hand, and actually it's worse now than it was before. So as if we haven't went to court, as if we haven't won anything. That's how it is. That's why the drivers' community now feels they need to unite to make a change. And as a union, we started the log-off campaign locally and nationally, and more associations for the drivers' community joined us to make it a mass movement for the drivers' community around the country.